right. We might be ready to move on this thing. If you want the work, you'll get a knock on your door any minute.
Hi there. Are you free? You want to see something that would be funny if we weren't all about to get killed? Come to my office now. Ish.
At your service.
Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Bam Bam is back. Bam has a treat for you guys, because I am pretty sure my scrapyard missions are reset and good to go. So I'm going to be digging into the scrapyard missions today, showing you guys some of those. Also, another treat is you guys are going to get to see how Bam makes money. And how I never go broke in GTA. Okay, so that's a treat for you guys, because for you guys who run businesses and who want to know about your businesses, this will be your time to ask questions. I want to give a big shout out to my fans and other YouTubers out there who support me and who have been there for me. Thank you. I'm looking at it, we're growing the channel slowly. It's getting up to 49 subs, right? Let's hit 100 soon. Come on. Let's hit 100 in January. Let's go for that goal. That's not a bad goal considering we're already 49. And when it ended up being unfortunate that my previous channel got deleted, or taken down, I should say, not deleted, because Bam wouldn't delete his stuff. No. Okay, I wouldn't delete all my hard work. Are you kidding me right now? Why would I do that? That makes no sense. Before I had this channel built up to like 15. Oh, I'm doing well, thank you, sir. How are you? Welcome back. Bam is fueled up and ready to go. Taking a break off Ambiers today. Yeah, the body needs a break. Right? At least for now. I did see your photo of you. Yep. I definitely did. And I was thinking to myself, I think I'm gonna give it a break today. At least until later anyways. I haven't fully decided on that yet. It's already noon and I've went this long and I'm just like thinking, yeah, why not give the liver a break today? Maybe it's crying uncle and we just need to give him a break. You're on your third one already. Nice. Nice. Well, I'm on my second coffee already and I'm smoking the weed pen, so I mean, I'm almost there with you on that level. You know, the weed pen gives you a nice buzz quick. and I got iced tea. I got iced tea on the go, so. Yeah, gotta have my iced tea. If Bam's not drinking beer, I'm usually drinking iced tea or water. And even then, I try to infuse my morning waters. Like I'll slice a lemon, for instance, and I'll squeeze that into a small water pitcher, and like that'll be the water pitcher for, you know, for breakfast kind of thing. And if you guys didn't know, okay, fun facts, okay, BAM's always loaded with fun facts, and I always like to share information with you guys that I know, and I like to pass it on, I should say. Lemon is really important for you in your diet because the acids in it, the citrus, it kills off bacteria that are bad. Helps clean out your body a lot more than you think and know. If you need help setting up no, I don't need help setting up Roblox. I looked at it and I'm just like, whoa, like that's a whole nother thing that people got involved in probably a long time ago during COVID as well. And certain people have their games. It's like there's Roblox people, there's GTA people, there's your Call of Duty people, there's your, you know, there always is that people, and then there's your gamers who are straight up like strictly on one game and one game only, and loyal to that game. BAM is kind of I'm out there. I'm a weirdo, so I'm not like everybody else. No, they broke the mold when they made me. So I'm different. I mean, I'm mainly on GTA, but I like to try different games and see what see how far I can make it in a new game before I either get one, irritated, or just two, don't understand what the hell is going on long enough to stay interested in it. And then even then, usually I'd still end up reverting back to GTA because I like GTA, and GTA is enjoyable, and GTA gives my mind a break away from all the pain and the suffering that I go through my body on a daily basis. So it gives my mind literally a break, and helps keep my mind on something else other than the pain. My mind knows the pain's there, but it's not such a burden on my mind. So, because it gives my mind something else to focus on. Because I can tell you guys something. When I do the simplest things like doing all the prep and the cooking in the kitchen and getting all the table, I still even set the table. Like I'm that kind of person. Like I set the table. I'm the kind of person to set the table, cook my dinner, do the prep and all that stuff, and then like actually enjoy my meal, clean up, make sure the house is clean. That way I know for the rest of the day I don't have to squat. I'm not touching nothing. And breakfast, I know a lot of you have busy schedules, and you don't have the same schedule as me, but this new year, if you want to do something different that's drastically going to help change things for you, start breakfast in the beginning of your day. Even if it's a muffin, slice of toast with cheese on it, or a slice of toast with jam on it, right? Doesn't have to be anything big, fancy, or anything else. It just, breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day, and it really helps your brain and functionality, and you'll be surprised at how much more energy you'll have. It'll change your mood. It definitely improves your mood. And what that helps also do is it'll help build, it'll give you character, and it'll make you feel like a sense of accomplishment has happened. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. For me, it's frustrating to do anything with my hands, and because I know it's going to be painful regardless, but I do it anyways. Now, one thing I find is one of the most important things each day, okay, that helps me stay motivated to keep doing more instead of just sitting around being lazy and feeling sorry for myself and feeling sorry for my situation and thinking and letting myself become severely depressed because of the pain. No, I turn around and I looked up motivation videos. I had to, because there was a time where I really needed the motivation. I didn't have the support, and I really needed to establish like a routine and keep things going, because at first when the accident happened, I was at home and everything was so difficult, and I had to learn how to do everything again, like shower and all kinds of stuff, and learn how to use the bathroom all over, and learn how to do things completely different, because my life was completely altered and changed in a way that you know, you have to make the changes, and you have, like, because I didn't have the home care, I didn't have the support, I had to figure it out. I had to learn how to use a can opener all over again, like in a safe way. I had to learn how to do things a lot differently now, rather than how I used to do things with my hands. And when I used to do things with my hands, when I think back to it, I took things for granted. Like, your hands are very powerful tools. Okay? We take our hands for granted. Trust me, you do. Because I did. Because like, you don't learn these things in life until something happens in life that makes you appreciate it. Or that gives you a reminder into how appreciating it. So now, I take extra care of my hands.
Whoa,
and
nice. It's a pleasure to work on this thing.
I know one thing, and this is with any parts of your body, okay? If you let,
Now that's an attractive fight.
like,
a serious
for instance,
criminal.
I wasn't able, because of the pandemic and everything else, and because of vaccination status, I wasn't able to get home care. And I got put on a long waiting list for it, still on the waiting list for it. I'm supposed to have a massage therapist come to the house so I can get my muscles massaged, because I can't massage my own, like, I can't do it properly, not like everybody else can.
Wow, she looks good. Not that
And
she didn't already.
like, it's complicated for me, and I need the massage therapy as well. Like, it's not only that, but the chiropractic work that needs to be done, and keeping my back in check and everything else, because of what's wrong back there.
But not in like a girly way.
And not to mention, like, my legs have been, like, I've watched my arm muscles. Like, I used to be a pretty built guy right before the accident, and like, now I still got a little bit of a chest. Now I got a little bit of a gut, because obviously I'm less active, right? I'm not on my feet as much. But still, I had to keep doing something, and this, doing the video game and keeping my hands and getting routine, it kept me alive. You know, it really did, because without trying to do something, and then if I would have just given up, eventually the laziness would have swallowed my any type of motivation to do anything.
What y'all thinking?
Like, I motivate myself to do things around my house. I never give up, because I'm a bit of a determined person like that. I don't know. I've always had that stubbornness to me. I was going to say strength, because you don't always have all the strength. I sure never thought in my life that I never really knew how much, like, the actual small things that you do around the house can actually take a toll on somebody who has an impairment and who has to struggle. Because you got to think, because my body has changed, and because it deals with things differently now, and had to make adjustments. Now there's muscles in my body that I've never had, and never really, how do I put this? Never really used before to an extent that I'm doing now. So some of my thighs, like my thighs and my leg muscles, for instance, they get a workout on a daily basis. Like, they're strong, and my calves are horse calves now, because they just, my legs have to do all the work that my hands can't do. You know, like I have to, there's certain times of the day and certain ways I can't push myself up like the average person does. So I have to use my legs, and I have to use my other muscles in my body. Do you understand? So it takes its toll, because they're getting used on a daily basis without getting relief. Like I said, like massage therapy relief. I'm finally getting access to that, and next month that finally gets to start for me, and I'm really looking forward to that, because that's a part of what I need. Like I need that now, regardless. Like that's something I have to rely on, because my body, since no one's to massage me or anything, so because I'm single and no girlfriend or anything, and plus, like, I can't, for the last 2 years I wasn't able to afford, while I was waiting to get on my benefits, I couldn't able to afford even going to a therapist, to be able to go to a therapist to get them, or to even have a therapist come to the house to do it, let alone that, because let's remember, there was people in the healthcare industry that were just basically going, well, if someone's not vaccinated, we're not going there, and they're not important enough, kind of thing. So it was a bit of a mixed bag on how I got treated during COVID, on my time. And I couldn't come at a more worse time, more challenging, I would say, in my life. But it made me strong. And it may not have made me completely strong physically, but like mentally, it has made me grow, and I've realized some things. Definitely learned, and for the positive. And I'm having a lot more. The more and more I'm reading my Bible, and keeping the scripture like concurrent on a daily basis, I'm finding the more I actually the more I'm getting that little bit more of an energy to be able to do things, and
What? Is this some mentality problem?
like the determination to keep going, the drive is there, and that strength comes. Sometimes it's like it has its days. Like it had its days where it was like getting like I was at the point where I was like literally did I get literally like somewhere lost in the system there and not cared about, like
I'm Johnny on the
I
spot.
didn't know what the hell was
I'll hook
going
you up.
on. Up until October, it's kind of weird, because it was like 2 weeks and 2 years after my accident is when my benefits started kicking in, and that's when, like, I'm finally getting the help and services I need, and I'll get that for the rest of my life because of my injuries. But it's like at the same time, you look at it and you can't help but wonder when you're going through this, is like, how did the system get so messed up that it took 2 years for somebody who had clearly had life-changing challenges and injuries and altering injuries for that matter, to like not have them on the system right off the bat, like on the disability. Like now I have to be on disability for the rest of my life, and I've come to terms with that, because that's just what it is. Like it was either come to terms to that or pretty much take life. Like there's no easy way of coming to terms with it. There was, and believe me, there was like there was a couple times there where it almost got to that point where I was just like, I was gonna be like, you know what, like this getting hopeless. Like, this is almost like how is this so messed up? And then it was like the end of the year was coming, when all hope felt basically lost, and like everything was going through, and I was really struggling and really praying and going through challenges 2 years and 2 weeks later, my prayers were answered, and it felt like the biggest weight off my shoulders, because it was like tough. It's like I mean, like it's that's 2 years of uncertainty, mental uncertainty. That takes a mental stress on you, you know. 2 years and 2 weeks of it. And then unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, it was like, it was almost like, and one of my friends was holding on and like basically like holding me through, like mentally holding me through it, because like there was days where I'd be on the phone to her, talking to her, and she was able to get me through it, only because she was already on the system and knew this fight and struggle, and already dealing with chronic pain, so could be an understanding person of the chronic pain I was in. So that was I feel blessed for that. I never will forget her for that either. I always make sure every Thursday I remind myself of how much that person was there for me, and how much of a friend she was, and always will be. And so those people, everything in life happens for a reason. And we all help each other for a reason. And sometimes, when you're praying, and it feels like, and I know this, I talk from experience, because I've been there, okay? And believe me, when you're praying to God and you think, and nothing gets changed right away, right off the bat, and you wonder, like, what the hell? Like, I prayed, like, what's going on here? Or why isn't things getting better right off the bat? Sometimes it takes time, and then sometimes God answers those prayers through people and through different messages, and you have to look for it. Right? God's not going to pop into your mind, and just because you turn around and talk to God and be like, Lord, like, I'm having a rough day, I'm struggling, this and that, blah blah blah, right? He's not popping into your mind, going to start speaking words to you, because if you think that you're hearing God's voice talking to you and stuff like that, you've lost your mind, okay? That's called hearing voices, okay? That's not God speaking to you, okay? God speaks in miracles and in relief and in guidance, and in bringing certain individuals into our lives in periods of distress when we need that help and individuals' help the most. That's when God answers your prayers. Because when you get that help that you were never expecting, or like, for instance, I wasn't expecting another random person, a new subscriber, and what he gave me scripture reading to go over during breakfast. So I did that, and I went over it actually right before I had closed everything down, and it started in the kitchen. And that made me realize, because I've been struggling with something previously, and I've been doing a lot of prayer over a few things recently, and just out of the blue, this random person, you know, he just tells me, Jesus loves you. Yes, I understand that. Yes, thank you. And it was just like, everything he was saying, he didn't know what I was going through, but he could hear it and understand it in my voice. And he had a message, obviously, like, he just starts speaking as if he was like as if everything I had been praying about was coming right out into his message, and it was coming right out in his words. And that was earlier. And that's cool. That's the cool thing about communication with God, is that God will communicate with you back through the most random thing. You don't even know. So, like, I wasn't about to turn that person away this morning and say, okay, well, you sound a little crazy just coming on the channel and randomly saying, hey, Jesus loves you, instead of saying, hey, hello, how you doing? No, he just randomly, like, you know, just blurts it out right like that. And I'm like, okay. So that's the Lord telling me that his son loves me, and that there's a reason, like, he's starting to answer my prayers, because You know, things were challenging, and like I said, I've been doing a lot of prayer, yeah, especially recently, like more than usual. And so with that, and with some other news I got like right before Christmas, it was just like it was like everything had been answered, and all the pain and suffering that I'm still going through, and all the suffering up until now is gonna be okay. It's gonna be worth it. Like, and there was extra reassurance there, and there was extra guidance there, and there's extra people telling me that too. So God works in mysterious ways. You have to be patient sometimes. Sometimes it just it won't happen right off the bat. You're on your 4th beer and back. Welcome back. Hey? You're on and off my channel like you're going out, almost like as if you're at the pub going outside and all that shit for a smoke break every 20 minutes. You know? I hope you're not smoking. Okay? Don't smoke. Okay? Seriously. Don't ever smoke. Bam quit smoking, and I'm telling you guys something. I'm not bringing it into the new year. No. I caved and touched my last cigarette like just shy of Christmas, I want to say. Yeah. Like it was a couple days before Christmas or something like that. I found a smoke from like something I was organizing in my closet, and I was like, I looked at it and I'm like, I had a few beers that day, and I'm like, you know what? I could have that, right? No, you can't have that. You're just really busy these days. That's good. That's good. Keep yourself busy. It's always good to keep busy. I try to keep busy. You can keep your mind busy. Yep. I do that too, dude. Yep. I'm always I'm finding. Oh, and I'm always finding something to do. Like seriously, if it's not, there's always something to do around the house. Granted, don't get me wrong. But I'm pretty sure you're almost sound like you're like me, where I don't like to do everything all at once and feel overwhelmed. Like I'll do everything, but like it's getting done on my terms and on my way.
All right, I've confirmed with the store. As soon as you drop the parts off, they'll release the funds to your account. Easiest money you've ever made, unless you know your movements are tracked.
Nice. You know what? I'm fortunate enough to have a roommate that, for me taking care of the house, because I'm the only one that's home all the time. So if I take care of the house, I actually earn like a little extra. Like I used to anyways, and now I get like royalties. So it's like I also like. So for keeping that, so I can't physically do my grocery shop, right? So, and I always have to get it delivered. So my landlord is actually nice enough that in exchange, if I do house chores, then they help me out with groceries and anything extra that I would need if I need a ride somewhere, right? And that's how I was able to basically survive the 2 years. You know, because if I was only one day it was only no I never let anybody do my house chores. No I'm picky like that. No, I keep my house clean and organized all the time. I always clean up after I'm done eating and stuff like that. Like my house doesn't stay a mess ever. Like the floors get washed on every other day basis type deal. Like the house gets vacuumed 3 times a week. Like there's no messing around. Like I'm not lazy that way. Yep. And you know what? And keeping up with the bathrooms and that, and keeping the kitchen clean, because I have certain things I do on certain days. So if there's like a like a bigger house chore. Like so for instance, like vacuuming. I wouldn't do vacuums and bathrooms in the same day. Like vacuuming in itself and the kitchen, like vacuuming that day is a big chore, so that's a huge thing. That takes a lot of my energy. And then that way on the off day, the very next day I could do bathrooms and then something else that's lighter, and then by the time the next day comes, it's that time to vacuum again, and that way everything stays consistent, and that way I give myself weekends off. So Saturdays and Sundays nothing gets done around the house. Well, like the bare minimum gets done around the house to keep the house at the minimum. During the week I keep a strict routine. I treat it like a job, because I can't even physically go to work, so like I have to have something, because I used to always be a busybody, like you're explaining, Owen. Like I was a workaholic. I was barely at home ever. Like it ruined 3 of my relationships over my life. Like work and stress and everything. Work owns my ass. Like I never appreciated home. I never appreciated the home life. I haven't spoke to Get in the Game yet today. No. Why? What's he saying? Because I see there's YouTube messages on my cell phone, but I mean my hands are busy. You haven't seen your video, what you normally... Oh yeah? I don't even know who watches my videos first, always off the top of my head. I know, like, I take a look at my statistics, and I know where my fans tune in from. And man, I've reached the globe. Like that's the cool part about nowadays. Is like when you're streaming and you reach the globe and you reach other people on the other side of the planet and you're communicating with them, and they're tuning into your action. Like that's cool. Like that's an accomplishment. Yeah, normally you are the first one, but I'm not saying I personally don't know off the top of my head. Like I don't physically check and know exactly who's on, like, first to tune in, or even I don't even know how to check who's the first to like it, because I don't even have time to check all those stats. I take a look at some of my analytics stacks, and it blows my mind sometimes, the amount of content I push out on a daily basis. But like it's awesome. I look at it and I'm like, hey, this is something constructive you're doing. Instead of sitting around feeling sorry for yourself and your situation. Because let's face it, I could sit around and feel sorry for myself and not do shit, and then my life would have gone to shit. And like, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you, nobody's gonna do anything for you if you sit around feeling sorry for yourself. That's just facts. I know that sounds harsh and everything else, but I mean, if you try at something and you try to accomplish something and make your situation better, then you'll be surprised how it will come together. Because I was a bit nervous at first. I remember my first year of streaming, and it was during my like just after the accident. I was so scared to get on the mic. Like I was just, you couldn't get me on the mic. You could get me on the keyboard, like to type back when I could, to keep my hands busy from locking up and stuff like that. And I knew I had to do something to keep, like, some type of motion on my hands to keep some type of therapy going. So I would do that, and then I started doing the channel as something to do, and showing some my creative side. So, and also it gives me a chance to express myself, which I enjoy doing now. Like, because if I would have kept all those emotions and feelings bottled up inside, God only knows how much of a mental toll that would have taken on me. I find it's more easy to accept everything that has happened now when I talk about it. And it took getting a psychiatrist, and that I have, by the way, and to start helping me and encouraging me on that and giving me those ideas, and working and helping that as like a tool to use as excuse me. A lot of talking's making my throat dry. And we have dry winters here in Alberta, so that doesn't help. And I usually have the window open, because I like fresh air. I'm one of those weirdos that likes to have like the cold air rush into his, like my bedroom can't be hot. I'm one of those people that would have the window cracked open a bit and have the fan going in the winter time, and it could still be -20 outside. I still need it to be a cool environment in my room, because I don't know, but I've always liked the feeling of being in the blankets. Right? Nothing's more satisfying than being warm in the blankets, like snuggled in the blanket, rather than being in too hot of a room. Too much heat irritates me. Oh yeah, I don't know how I'm ever gonna live in a tropical environment. I went to the Philippines one time for 30 days. Wow, I never knew how irritated I could get in my life until I went to a tropical place. Yeah. Like, BAM has a short fuse. I can admit that, right? But like, my patience level is, and I can tolerate, you know, I'd like to think I can tolerate some things, but one thing I can't tolerate is the heat of the Philippines. Wow. Humidity and me don't get along anymore. No. Humidity irritates me to humidity irritates me to the point where anything and everything around me now all of a sudden just irritates me. So even you speaking to me, and I'm looking around for the coldest place to go, and looking for ways to cool down my body, because my body and my heart rate will start to get elevated if the temperature outside is too hot. And then I have to look for a place to go cool down, because my body starts getting out of control and getting all wacky. So I didn't discover that. I didn't fully know that until my doctor diagnosed me with it. When diagnosing me with the heart condition and putting me on my heart pills. But like, I learned these things through the hard ways of life, and that being one of them. So you learn things about your life, about yourself, as you go along in life too.
You're through to your garage.
That nobody ever really explained to me, right? Nobody had ever sat me down and explained why that happens to your body, and just some people are like that. And for me, that's just how it is. Too hot of an environment will elevate my heart rate to a point where I can't control it. But now that I'm on now that I'm on the heart pills and the blood medication, I think that I would be able to maybe control it a lot better. So I'm gonna be curious to find out here whenever I can get up enough. Well, I'm on anxiety pills, so whenever I can get my anxiety calm enough to actually get on a vacation, which I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see how I'm ever gonna get back in a plane ever again. Especially a crowded plane full of people. I don't know. It's gonna take some serious medication. And I'm not saying if I'll ever get back on a plane ever again. I'm just saying, like, maybe it'll take like a stronger dose of anxiety pills that I'm on now. Yeah. Because certain things, just even the thoughts of certain things right now, and certain things on TV will even trigger my anxiety. So I've learned too that I can't. There's certain things I can watch on the TV and certain things I can't watch on the TV. And there's certain things that trigger my PTSD, and there's certain things that like instantly trigger my PTSD. And oh man, learning about yourself is it's unique, and it's an experience. I highly suggest it, as you to start learning about yourself and start questioning why you do some of the things you do, and then perhaps maybe asking certain people like, hey, you ever notice why I do certain things, and maybe what's your opinion on that? And then take that feedback and see what happens, and then make a conclusion from there. Because I'm sure you'd be surprised at what you'd hear back. Because I've heard the same thing over people. Like, you get irritated very easily. And I started thinking about why and what situations I was in at those points, and I was like, you know what? Those were pretty heated days, right? So there's always something to do. Somebody's stumbling around in the nightclub. Still got to go over to Scrapyard. Haven't been there yet. Like, we're collecting mad money, and I zeroed this, so we're at 185k now. We're 285 now. I'm counting. What are we at? Almost an hour in. So for all of you that complain about making money, guess what? Bam's been shooting the shit with you, right? And you know, just chatting it up and just doing the bare minimum of work for my businesses. And like, look, so you like, if you're raking in 285k like that so easily, and like, let's say for instance, if somebody is streaming and they're trying to teach you about business, I'd be wanting to listen to the person that's like making continuous money out of their safes like that, and like who's just driving around GTA, getting to do whatever the hell they want, collecting money, and barely doing anything. Yeah, I'd want to listen to that person, because maybe they know what they're doing. And Bam's, like I said, Bam's gone broke once. I literally went flat broke one time. There was only one time, and I can tell you what happens. I had businesses at the time. I had some MC businesses, and this is going back like back in the COVID days, when we were all still in like heavy-duty lockdown. And and most of us were online like on a daily basis. And you can't say some of you weren't, because I know some of you were, because I was online, and I wasn't streaming yet. And I wish I was. Man, if I could go back to those days. Like, if I could go back to the days where we had to do all this business stuff in public lobbies, some of you would be like, what the hell? Like, cool, I'm gonna make myself another coffee here shortly too. It's almost like you're reading my mind here today, Owen. It's like I can basically, I went from worrying about how much money I was going to make in GTA and stressing out about it to now I get to just drive around and do whatever the hell I want to do, and my money will accumulate in my safes whether I like it or not, and I can easily go around, relax, and just enjoy GTA and hang out and help my friends whenever I want, and just like literally do this, like put it on stream, and let's stream some missions, and I get to show you guys what we're doing. Because yeah, if I brought you guys, if we would have streamed back in the days of public lobbies to do business stuff, some of you guys would have been so shocked at how we had to do sales and everything else. Like, to do a nightclub, rocking a nightclub sale right now, I'd be checking the map, who's around the nightclub, I'd be coming out of this nightclub in ghost mode, okay? No one would be knowing I'm rocking this nightclub sale.
Okay, so we're selling some of the stuff that's been piling up.
That's how we used to do it. The smart guys, this is how we had to do it. You had to go out of sight, number one, if you were looking to do a sale, so that nobody, when you came out of the nightclub, you were out of sight, okay? and you had an area, you would call Imani and ask her to take you out of sight. And I'll do that for you guys right now, because I have the money to do it, and I can spend the money and I can show you guys. So, us professionals at GTA, this is because I tell you the game secrets so that you guys can do it for yourselves. Out of sight, activate,
Okay,
12K.
prepare to go, Ghost.
Okay, let's add up the money here. Okay, so it costs $12 or 12,000 to have an area of the map go off radar completely. Now that goes completely off radar unless you kill somebody. As second you kill somebody, then you're going to show up on the radar. But as long as you're in that area, as long as you're in this lightly highlighted area, that great big circle you see on your mini-map, then yeah, you're safe. By the time you would get close to coming out of that circle, and you're not going to be out of sight anymore, then this is what you're going to do.
This little delivery.
Then you're going to go to your interaction menu. You're going to go into CEO abilities. This is what, again, this is what we had to do before. We don't do this now. No, we don't have to. That's why I go into these lobbies and I conduct all my businesses in friend lobbies, because none of my businesses can get interrupted anymore and I'm not going to lose money. So once you would come out of that circle, we would have to go, and you can't do it in a solo lobby, but you would have to pay another 12 grand to go Ghost Organization. So there, you've spent $24,000 just to start the nightclub sale. And that's that out of sight, or that Ghost Organization is only going to last you 3.5 minutes at max, I think. If I remember correctly. Don't quote me on the exact time. It's either 3 minutes exactly or 3.5, or it might even be 4 now. Who knows? Rockstar keeps nerfing it. We'll see you soon, Owen. You take care too. Don't be drunk. Try not to be on beer 6 yet. Try to space it out. Actually, you're on coffee, so you're good. That's right. You're good. Ghost mode would protect you from your enemies, though, being able to orbital cannon you. Okay, they wouldn't be able to orbital cannon you for the time being that you're doing the sale, or for the time that you're in ghost mode. So that's why you see Bam go flying around the map all the time, driving like a complete reckless dude, or like I drove the car like I stole it, or like I'm trying to race everybody on the streets, is because that's how we had to drive. We had to beat times, we had to beat clocks, we had to learn how to drive fast, because if you didn't drive fast, that certain amount of time, right? Once that time's up, guess what? Whole entire lobby now. The rest of if you're in a full lobby, the other 29 players know that you're doing a sale. And I guarantee you, it doesn't matter what kind of lobby you're in, I guarantee you there is that little punk out there that always wants to turn around and mess around and come up and mess with your sale. There always is. There is always that online bully that does it. There's always that griefer tryhard that always looks for the people that are conducting business and thinks to themselves, I'm going to go and screw with that sale. And they do it. Okay? Those people exist. So if you weren't good at hiding your sale and at conducting your businesses, then you were shit out of luck. Because usually by about now, your ghost organization would wear off, and then you're gonna have to pick up the phone and call Lester while you're driving down the highway, and then you're gonna ask him to take you off the radar, because then that's gonna buy you some extra time, right? So in this case, that would have worked out for this sale, because ultimately we're just driving over here and dropping this off, and it's done, right? So in a public lobby, I could have got an extra $100,000 bonus for pulling the sale off. But for me to go in a public lobby and take the risk just to make an extra bonus of 100K for the problems, no, it's not even worth the stress. So that's why I don't do it, right? Makes more sense just to, because I already had that stress for like 2 years. So did a lot of us. Where anything and everything that we conducted business with in public lobbies was an absolute nightmare.
Just to let you know, you have a happy customer.
Okay. Oh. I had to take a phone call there. Sorry, everyone. Bam is back. For now. I am going to split up streams. I've been noticing like it... I hear snowman. And one of these. Are we not supposed to destroy the pink flamingos too? No. I think that was a part of the mission where it said the pink flamingo. Look for something with the pink flamingo and hunt. I have 2 more snowmen to hunt down. So, I've gotten 23 out of the 25 snowmen in the last 3 years of playing the game. And I think I did, I think I was gonna make it like one of my personal missions to just what exactly was it? I was gonna, I know what it was. I was gonna go grid by grid and go through the whole map of GTA, like up one side and down the other, and go from right to left. And I was gonna go grid by grid and search for the snowmen. And I was literally gonna start at the bottom part of the one map, go up one side one day, and then the next day go down the other side. And now that I think about it, I still might do that. It's still a pretty good idea to do. So I'll do a bunker sale. We'll crank out a bunker sale here. We just finished off that nightclub sale right quick. The bunker should be ready to go. And then I might, by that time I might decide to end stream and get some missions and get some things organized so that we can have a longer stream of some missions and likely a Cayo Perico heist. Like, I'm thinking I'll do a different title only because I'm probably going to, in my next stream, include a Cayo heist, you know, and at least one of the Junkyard's mini heists. Because I don't mind doing those missions, they're fun. Because it's new for us. And I'll have more instructions on missions and what to do. Because you'll get that first-hand experience of seeing it already. So for some of you that come back in the next live stream, you'll finally get to see, if you've been curious up till now about how those missions go and like what order you should do them in and what's necessary and what's not. Bam's gonna go through and thoroughly go through it with you guys and give you details, right? And plus there's a couple things I have to get to do prep for, because I looked at the time, and unfortunately today earlier my chores had carried me into the New Year's offset at everything. And I think the New Year's offset at everything for everybody, so I kind of slacked on my routine, or on my routine of things over New Year's. So everything was getting finally back in routine today. So things, I like to do things at certain times, and then that way it keeps me on a routine, and it keeps me
okay, these buyers can't be seen to touch down on US soil, so they're picking up the shipments at altitude. Get your Marshall off-roader and get to the site.
What was I gonna say? Not only does it give me my like my routine, but it also gives me like that sense of structure. So, and that like and it teaches my body, like, hey, like, we gotta eat at a certain time, or there are certain things we should be doing at a certain time. That way too, because you know what, I've had the bad habit of getting lost in gaming, and then looking at the time going, oh wow, like, I'm not even gonna have the energy to like do what I want to do. Like, I think for instance one time I was deep into streaming, and I looked at the time and I'm like, I'm like, I'm way past dinner time here, And then it was like, what usually happens if I throw myself off the routine like that is sometimes after dinner, most times after dinner I get full, and it takes a lot of energy out of me. So I usually go down for a little cat nap, quick nap, you know, something small for a couple hours at the tops. But on longer days, if I go over my routine, I found that it'll throw off everything. It'll throw off the whole rest of the day. I end up losing track of time, and I finally got myself on. I'd say more strict. I'm more strict on myself this year now. I told myself I got to get a lot more strict on the routine, and it's going to be a little harder and complex because I want to challenge myself. Though, since the accident, I've been building myself back, so building my own strength back up and my own abilities. So last year I challenged myself to try to do more with my hands and to try and push my limits and to see where I can go with my limits. I haven't got to do a push-up in 2 years, and I don't know what that's like. And so far right now I'm not strong enough to do that, so that is going to be one goal to try and work on this year, is I do want to try and build up some sort of a way to be able to challenge myself to do, like, maybe even not to start out with anything crazy, but like to get at least 1 or 2 push-ups down or something, you know, so I can have some kind of accomplishment on that aspect, knowing that, hey, there's progress being made here. Because let's face it, if I wasn't trying to keep my hands strong and to keep my muscles going, oh, they would have got so weak and fragile by now. Like, it would have been horrible. I guarantee you, I wouldn't be able to do anything like I'm doing now. Like, I've really had to challenge myself over the last 2 years and push myself. So, and I've been starting to realize it, especially today, that I'm proud of myself. And you should be too if you've pushed yourself, and just always keep trying to set yourself goals. They don't have to be like astronomical, and they don't have to be anything huge. But start out with small goals and accomplish them, and see where it takes you from there. Right? Set something realistic that you know you can accomplish, because every New Year's, okay, people end up making, like, I don't know, these New Year's resolutions that they can't keep up with. And I find that the people that can't keep up with their New Year's resolutions, from my observation, is because, number one, they made resolutions that they knew were, like, they were setting the bar way too high. Number one, like an unmanageable bar. And when you have a goal that's unrealistic and you try to accomplish the goal that's unrealistic, you quickly realize how silly your resolution became and how challenging. So then people end up easily giving up, and that's why some resolutions don't work out. So my goals were very simple this year. Okay, number one, scale back on drinking my beer. Right, that's a more personal thing for me that I wanted to do. The other thing was I wanted to make sure, because I had struggled, I had 4 unsuccessful attempts last year at quitting smoking, where I had ended up starting again. So this year, I am on track to say that that's not going to happen. right? So I have realistic goals set where I know I can manage it because I've already haven't been smoking for over shy of 3 weeks now. Like when you cut into the craving and you try to puff on a cigarette like 1 or 2 times out of that time frame, that's not getting off the wagon and starting again. That's just testing the waters and making sure you know what you're doing is right. Because believe me, I tried to smoke a full cigarette like right before Christmas. My body was rejecting it, you know, like it was gonna make me throw up if I kept going. So I was like, okay, yep, we won't do that again. So I don't have the bar set too high for 2024. I made it a realistic goal that there'll be no smoking in 2024. The only thing I'll be smoking is weed. Yeah. 2024 is the year that I will not buy a pack of cigarettes. I challenged myself not to buy a pack of cigarettes. And then I reminded myself why we're not buying pack of cigarettes. Because we have spent way too many years over our lifespan. I started getting curious. And I started thinking to myself, when I used to be stressed out, and with my exes, right? How much money was I spending on a weekend smoking? And I curious that I started running numbers, right? As I was quit smoking 3 weeks ago. And the numbers started astonishing me. Like the thousands and thousands of dollars, and I started thinking about how much stuff I could have paid off. How much stuff I could have owned with that money. And I'm like, wow, oh man. And I was like, okay, that is my motivation as well. That is another motivation to remind myself, like, hey, next time you get a craving for smoking, remember how much money we spent on that? Yeah, let's not do that again. We're not wasting any more money on that shit. I just remind myself like that. So, because believe me, in the first couple of weeks you go through quitting smoking, it's like one of the hardest things to do. And they say it's harder than quitting crack cocaine. I mean, they say it's one of the hardest chemicals to get off of is nicotine. And it's like one of the most addicting chemicals on the planet. Like, for instance, when I was slowly weaning myself off of smoking and everything, I tried quitting cold turkey sometimes, and then I realized, okay, a person who has been smoking for as many years as I've been smoking, all of a sudden tries to go and quit cold turkey, you get irritable quick, and your behavior and mood changes, okay, and you go through mood swings. So, the mood swings and the withdrawal were pretty intense. So I had to learn to wean myself off of it, but once I weaned myself off of it, I was at a point where I didn't get to smoke anymore, and I was just on the weed vape. That was it. And you can do it. You can do your New Year's resolutions. What I'm trying to say to you all.
Look at that! All deliveries received.
If you make yourself a goal that you can realistically accomplish. And then, hey, if you accomplish that realistic goal, then maybe set yourself another goal to accomplish in 2024, and then set your bar and think to yourself, you know what? By the end of the year, I'm going to make sure this next goal is accomplished by the end of the year, at least by the end of the year. So that way, you can keep yourself motivated, and you don't think that the new year is such a failure. Because usually after the first month, some people think that, oh, well, I had set the bar or my resolutions too high and I failed at them, so this must be not my year. And then, you know, they start thinking. Then all of a sudden, once you're on that negative track, it's hard to get back on that positive track to try and have anything positive keep happening. So, in order to not slip and fall down that crack, right? That's one of my best life advices I can give to you guys going forward. Is that always when New Year's comes and when it comes to setting life goals, set something you can realistically accomplish. Don't overwhelm yourself, because guess what? Life's overwhelming as it is, and so is the crap that's going on in the world. So you don't need to add more overwhelming stress on yourself. Don't do it, is what I mean. Like, once I fully know that I've got off the smoking train, then I'm probably going to set another goal this year. And then who knows, I might get set another goal. But I'll keep you guys updated on which ones I set. Look at these guys. You guys lying around here? No, the place is at least the place is clean. You guys think this is a holiday camp around here? You'd think, huh? Nobody's working in the shop today, huh? That's okay. We'll put you to work. We'll put these guys to work before we end the stream. How long was this stream? An hour and 16 minutes so far, and I've made a bunker move. I've made a nightclub move, which gave me $500,000, and then 371. So we made almost $1 million just from the businesses, just checking on the businesses and making sure everything's running smoothly. That's more than you're making at Cayo Perico right now on the island by yourself. Or even if you were to, let's say, be stingy and only give your clan 15% and you were to steal the 85%, right? You still wouldn't come away with the 800K that you're walking away with in the amount of time. Because you got to remember, you got your heist preps, then you got your heist time going in there, and then you if your team's not on the perfection list like ours, then you know you risk screwing up, that taking time. So I try to do things that are going to pay me for my time and keep me entertained in my time and pay me the most for my time. I'm not interested in going back and doing like a whole day's worth of missions with my friends online just to earn like not even this amount of money. Like not even 300K. Right? Because even a lot of you don't have a lot of time to be on GTA like I do. So to you guys, time is money. And so for when you get some of your friends that are wasting your time and inviting you in to play missions, they have no clue what they're playing and doing, and they just want to do their own thing and they don't want to work as a team. Well, I'm not down for wasting my time and energy like that, right? Like I could go around and I could pull off moves faster than you, and I can do it myself in a quarter of the time. So that's why you see, I used to help out a lot of the public lobby people and take randoms all the time and nicely help them out and give them money, give a random 85%, you know. I'd pick up the lowest level in the lobby and the one struggling the most, and I'd be like, hey, you want to make some money today? Like, especially the ones that were trying to make money and they're the ones struggling, and if they're trying to make money and they're asking to try and make money to help making their money, then hey man, I'm all for helping you make money. But if you're one of those mooches that sit there on GTA and you're like, hey, I'm broke, I need help making money, and I ask you what businesses you have and you say none, I don't even want to talk to you, because you're just a mooch of GTA and you're just in it to mooch off people and cry and whine about being broke. And I'm not wasting my time and effort on people like that, because people like that don't want to improve themselves and listen to the people like me who are willing to help them and educate them and tell them how to spend their money so that they can keep making money on a residual basis. You see? Like, some of these players are starting to realize, and I call them players because they're not gamers. If they were gamers, they wouldn't be broke, and they'd be streaming, and they'd have some kind of responsibility with their spending money in GTA. But if you know what you're doing, and you're real hardcore at it, then you're making money. You're in GTA. You're making moves. You're making your RP, and you know what's happening. You know what's good. Like, and I'm always down to help. That's how a lot of my clan members, like that's why we stayed solid. That's why we help each other. When you see us working together, is because we help each other with our businesses, because we want to make money, and we know we know what it takes to survive and make money in GTA. And there's so many of you that can't even play this game now because you're realizing now that sure you had lots and lots of money before, but the people that you burned bridges with and that you used to be friends with and get money from, you're now not getting money from, and it's harder to get people to help you make money. And those people are slowly dying off in GTA. Why? Because they're going broke and they can't afford to keep buying shark cards just to play GTA. And they're so far in the shithole of GTA, and they have no assets left, and they've sold everything so bad that they can't even, that they need like at least $5 million to get at least a business up and running that would keep them making residual money to keep their head floating above water from paying their bills from properties that they own that they can't sell.
Get the car ready to be disassembled,
Like, I don't feel sorry for players like that. I don't. But the guys I see that are like running crates and like, you know, making moves out of their agency or somewhere else of a business, and then they ask me like, hey, can you help me do a sale, or hey, can you you know, possibly, you know, give me some advice on how to make money a little faster, or do you know why I'm not making so much money? I like helping people out like that and communicating with guys like that and players like that, because I know that they're on a pathway of success to bettering themselves and doing something with their money, rather than sitting there and like begging and pleading people for money and a handout because they want to buy the newest, latest car that's out, right? And then they go ahead and they buy that car, okay? And they only own that car for maybe a week or two because they realize that, oh my God, they're broke again, and they can't, and nobody's willing to hand out money in GTA anymore. There's no charity events left. There's no more charity clans out there. Clans have now clanned up, pretty much, and they're taking care of their own members because things got difficult. And you know, as everybody knows, GTA kept making changes to the game over the last few months and making it harder and harder for you to make money. And then they also made the game, the in-game enemies that you come across on your missions in story mode, and made them harder, and they made them more challenging. So for the less skilled players, it's now extremely hard to, before it was hard for you guys to keep your heads above water, now it's extremely hard. Now you're not even keeping your head above water, you're on the negative. Like you're going through all your assets and you're losing. You're watching your car. I know it because I've listened to some of you in the public lobby crying about it. Oh, on the open mics, and I don't say anything. Like, I hear guys talking about it lately all the time, selling off all their assets. Oh, I just sold 3 of my cars to pay my bills, man. He's like, I can't even make enough money back. I'm so fucked, bro. Like, I hear guys talking like they're so broke, I'm gonna have to buy a shark card. I'm like thinking to myself, I have never bought a shark card and never will. Like if you're selling your assets to keep your head above water, then you don't know how to make money in GTA. You're not business smart. And my lessons to you would be find somebody who is business smart in GTA and start taking some lessons. And start changing your spending habits. Because everything in this game costs you money. Like, yeah, sure, you see BAM running around making money right now, right? But do you not see those little messages that pop up in the bottom left-hand part of the screen? You know, those little messages from my staff that sits there and just say that you paid like $6,000 to your staff that day for this business and that business, or you just forked out $3,700 in utility bills in the last hour. Yeah, I'll let you guys know what the next bill is, but as you guys know, the longer you're in a lobby, the more business bills you're paying. The more properties you own, the more bills you pay. And BAM owns a lot of properties, and I own all the businesses. So I'm paying all my business's staff as well. So I'm about to drop this car off at the shop, and then I am going to pull up some stats that are going to shock the hell out of some of you guys, because when I let you guys know what I spend in property and utility bills over the last 3 years, and you do that, them adding up, it's a lot. Now, last time I checked, it's over $100 million a year I spend in property and utility bills. In the last 3 years, because since I created the account, there was, I checked on stats the other day. I was curious, and we're at something like $337 million over a 3-year time span of spent on property and utility bills, and that's paying for staff. That's all that good stuff, right? So just imagine those of you who don't have, those of you who would have turned around and let's say, you know, bought in all the businesses, didn't know how to manage your businesses, and then no wonder why you're broke, and you'd have to make another account, and you wouldn't be able to go back to that account, or you'd have to at least make money in another account to be able to go back to that account. Yeah, because things add up in this game. The world of GTA has become realistic now to the point, almost, I wouldn't be surprised in GTA 6 on the console versions if we're not going to have to pay for gas. Like, that might be the next upgrade that they might start making us pay for, and then that'll make it really guys work. Then you're really going to see players start becoming grinders, because the players got to start paying for gas. Not only are they going to be robbing more stores, but they're going to be grinding their businesses hardcore, because you're not, pretty soon you won't be able to make moves without filling up your vehicles. So could you just imagine? Like, I know in some of the PC mods it's already out, and that's the case, and like there's only a certain amount of fuel that gets left in your vehicle even when you bring it into a garage, and then you got to purchase gas at certain spots, and oh yeah. So could you just imagine if you had to pay for fuel on top of all this in the driving that you do in GTA? Oh man, you'd be so careful what moves you make, and especially if they start making you pay for fuel for the oppressor. Yeah, that oppressor wouldn't be getting used by a lot of people. Absolutely not.
See you around.
So now the shop's busy. That's how I like to keep the shop. These spots here are for these cars. So the game gives you a chance to, if you want, because we're going to come back to this. Bam's going to take a brief break here for less than an hour, so I can get my dinner prep stuff done and dinner taken care of. So all I have to do is basically just, you know, stick it into an air fryer, set it, basically do the minimalist of work, right? That's the way I like it. When you do meal prep, it makes your life a lot easier. Then it just becomes routine, and then you're just doing it because eventually it starts saving you time. Yeah, we'll get into starting on these, and it looks like we're gonna go for the max one. So the game will allow you to house all 3 of these cars up for a week, and then like you got to do something with them because you only have 4 spots, and then each week there'll be another 3 set of cars come up. So yeah, you could hoard 3 cars in here, but eventually you're not going to be able to hoard any more than that, because you're not going to be able to hoard them over here, because these two bays over here are specifically for the tow truck business part. Like, that's for salvaging parts, right? So even when you choose to move those cars, you'll see later, even when you choose to either sell it or salvage it, if you end up choosing to salvage it, it ends up moving that car from behind me to over here on the other onto the other hoist there. So you know what? I'll be able to get the stats. I was gonna go over the stats right quick. So let me deposit this so that cash on hand will be reset at 0 again, or we go back in. Well, 500 bucks. I always told you guys, if you're gonna play GTA, only carry around 500 bucks. That way, in case you know, on the unfortunate part where you end up getting a mugger sent after you in a public lobby, they're only gonna get 500 bucks. They're not gonna get 10,000. If you're carrying more than $10,000, they're stealing $10,000 from you at one time, and that's gonna suck. That will piss you off, especially you players that don't have a lot of money. So yeah, I created my account. Just had its birthday on Christmas Day, so that was exciting. That was 3-year mark. 321 days spent in GTA, 18 hours and 58 minutes. You know, it's a lot. My longest single game session was 1 day, 13 hours and 22 minutes. Oh my, I felt stupid after that. I was awake. For that record that I set, I had streamed that entire time. And if you guys don't believe me, Wade, one of my clan members, he knows, because he knows that stream lasted for like 34 or 35 hours. I went hard. And I was so loopy after that. Like, I was like, do. But, was it, like, you can see time walking. I've spent 22 days and 7 hours walking. Like, you can't catch up to that. Vehicles, there's a lot of stats there. We're not going to go into all of them, but this is the important one that I really wanted to mention to you guys, because career spent on weapons and armor, $1.3 billion. And yes, that's right, billion. Okay, so that's $1,326,485,392 spent on weapons and armor in 3 years. Spent on vehicle maintenance, $677 million. Property and utility bills. See, there's where we're racking in. We're almost at 360, so you're pretty much at it's at the point where it's costing me $120 million just in property and utility bills to keep things running. So just imagine if I don't. So right now with, and I've earned quite a bit from selling vehicles too over the last 3 years. Only 133 million, and that's nothing. Like that's peanuts, okay? Compared to, like, I make that in a week or a month even. Like, so when you look at those stats and everything, like, because you see how I own everything all over the place here. So like I said, all that money, the bills. So just imagine if I don't pay the bills this year, all year, and if I just keep going, then, and I only have $70 million, mind you, okay? So if GTA was to allow you to go into the negative, which they don't, okay, I would still, with the amount of money I have right now, if I was to stop doing everything, I would have to rely and hope and pray. And if I wasn't to make a single business move, and if I was just to only collect to my safes, I would have to hope and pray that my safes would pay me $50 million before the end of the year, or else my property and utility bills wouldn't be covered. So that's how you're able to figure that out, because what you would do, how I'd figure that out, was that what you do is you go in here to cash and stats, and see how much I've spent on property and utility bills. Spends $359 million. So you divide that by the last 3 years, like even, okay? And that number is 120 million, almost right now, as it stands. So that's how I'm able to figure out if I was to continue on doing what I'm doing and just be completely reckless now from here on in, I would have to rely $50 million on the safes this year alone, just to be able to cover the property and maintenance bills and the staff bills. So that wouldn't give me extra money to, I wouldn't be able to, be able to sit there and be like, oh, new DLC just dropped, like let's say in March. Oh, like, what did I spend? I don't even know exactly how much I ended up spending, but it was well over $40 million when I started buying the police cars, the police DLC, right? All the things for the shop and the new business, right? Buying the scrapyard, and then I went into Legendary Motorsports and I bought everything that came out with the new DLC, right? So these 3 vehicles came home with me right off the bat. I went down into here into SSS, and everything new that came out, gone, mine. I own it. I think this just dropped, and I haven't bought this yet. And this looks cool. This looks like Durango. No, I don't own this yet. So you see, here, we're going shopping. And I'm going to buy a blue one. So that'll be a new vehicle to tune up, and we'll put that at the Arena Workshop. And the reason being is 'cause I can put my blue lights in right away. Because I have this bad habit of, when I send vehicles to garages that I can't put my blue light into right away, I have this bad habit of forgetting to do it on my on my headlights. And I never get around to it till about 6-7 months later, and I freak out and go, why doesn't this vehicle have blue headlights? What happened? I don't know where this guy is. I have him around here somewhere. And if I can't find him soon, I'm picking him up today too. I didn't pick up this. No, I'm not buying the minivan. No. The Classy Impala LX, I picked that up. I wasn't buying this one either. I did pick up that one. Oh yeah, and of course, when the Hot Ring Hellfire and the Albany Brigham came out, I definitely had to get it. The one thing I was kind of disappointed with, though, is that they allow you to make it look like the Ghostbusters car and everything, but the lights on top and everything didn't get to flash like the police lights do now. So I hope they end up changing that at some point. I was actually even thinking of suggesting that to Rockstar. And then you guys know I have all this stuff over here. So I mean, I don't liquidize my assets if I don't have to. So we comfortably just bought that vehicle today because, hey, we earned that money today. That vehicle will pay for itself in no time. So now we have a cool new vehicle to go do missions with when we come back in the new live stream. So, and just so I don't forget about it, we're gonna start there. Look at all these places. Spawn locations are everywhere. You have like sleeping quarters, and for businesses, sleeping quarters is expensive, like 700 and 800K. And just imagine, all my businesses are upgraded to the max, right? And all my businesses have sleeping quarters, so I can turn around and I can spawn myself wherever I want. Did I pass it? No, there it is. So Arena Workshop is going to be where we're spawning, next location. And there, we'll go leave GTA Online. So it'll be a new way of ending streams now. We'll go through some stats, we'll go through like a little detailed, you know, list of what we accomplished today. So, you know, we accomplished some business sales, you know, this morning and this afternoon. I've taken care of enough businesses to show you guys that, hey, this is how you should be managing yourself. Get yourself a routine of businesses to go and travel around to, and that way you have a list of things to do. You barely see me touch my MC businesses because they're not that profitable. Okay? They're not. They're fun to have, and they're leisure businesses. They're things to do with your buddies once in a while. Okay? It's not something I wouldn't rely on that business. And Michael spazzes out. I wanted to do this so it loads up a new look for him. There you go. Now I still have stuff to do in story mode to take you guys on too, right? So, but that's for another day. That's not going to be today. But I am going to start getting into, you know, at least giving you guys a heads up of what's going to be broadcasting next. Not to the full extent. I'm not going to ruin it all and ruin everything, and so that there's no surprises. But I at least give you guys something to look forward to, and we'll accomplish some missions today, and at least you guys will have a better understanding of how to complete some missions. You'll see some more of how I organize myself around my businesses, where I'm still bringing in a healthy amount of money, even though I'm working on business or missions. You'll see it later. So thank you all for tuning in up till now, as always. Thank you to my fans. Appreciate you guys. You know, my haters, I don't like you, but, you know, I don't need to tell you that. But I did anyway, so my supporters, you guys are awesome. Everybody who supported me up till now, and my loyal fans, thank you so much, right? When Bam starts doing his merchandise, I'm definitely hitting you guys up with some free stuff. I got some people in mind, that's for sure. I hope you guys do end up having a safe and blessed day, okay? Take care of each other. Remember, try to do something nice today for somebody. And if you can't, try to do something nice for somebody. Then try to give somebody some nice advice. And try to be positive to somebody and try to uplift somebody's day. Because I'm going to tell you guys something now. You never know how bad somebody's day could be going. And then you just say the slightest thing like, hey, that's nice hair you have today. Or hey, you know what, you look nice today. Or something, just a nice compliment. You never know how much that can brighten up their day and make their day turn around from them feeling down to them feeling, hey, I just got complimented. My day's not so bad after all. You can change somebody's mindset of thinking just in how you talk to them. Okay, so always be very careful with your words. Okay, my advice, alright? Not that I was always 100% careful with my words, but I've learned over time, and I've become wise over time. So when I can offer advice that can help others, I'm definitely going to do it, because I wish somebody had given me that advice a lot. I wish I had learned it, unfortunately, a long time ago, but it is what it is, right? That's why it's called life experience, okay? Alright. You guys all, we got everything covered. Take care, man. Oh yeah, yeah, he's we'll see him soon. We'll see Owen back here shortly, I'm sure. So like I said, I'm thinking like an hour tops. My dinner prep's gonna take me. It shouldn't take me an hour to get this prep done. So. And like I said, I ended up doing a couple extra things and pushing myself today, so I don't think prep will take an hour, so it shouldn't be too long. And then we're definitely gonna rock another live stream, and it'll be for a while. And likely we'll get into hockey tonight, but there just won't be a lot of hockey play tonight. I'll probably just want to I'll probably run a couple games for sure. I try to get in at least 2. I might not run 3 games tonight, but we'll definitely do a late night of hockey as well. So you guys all take care of each other. I'll see you guys soon in the next live stream. Okay? Till then, peace out of here. Bam's gone. Later.